This whole area of Badrinath is actually the spiritual nucleus of Sanatana Dharma. This is the place where the Ganga descended. This is the place the Nara and the Narayana did the penance. Every inch of this place is filled with the spiritual energy of penance. This place is the nucleus from which the entire Vedas came out. This is the place through which the Mahabharata, the Bhagavata have been given to the humanity. This is the place where the greatest of the sages and seers, even Narada, received the Ashtakshari mantra, Om Namo Narayana. So when you look at this place, Bhagavan Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya, no wonder chose this place as the place of initiating the Sanatana Dharma. This is the place where the Nilakant exists, the Shiva aspect of it, because Shiva received Ganga here.
This kshetra is the kshetra of Mahavishnu. Badri is Mahavishnu's kshetra. Here the wish of Swami once it was to have one such program here, and I think that after so many years the wish of Swami it has been materialized. This is really a wonderful opportunity for all of us to assemble here, staying here for about 12 days, conducting this Ati Rudra Maha Yajna, which is the highest form of worship to Lord Shiva.
When we were doing the Ati Rudra Maha Yajna in Atlanta, Nanjund Dikshit ji mentioned that Bhagavan mentioned to him that he wanted to do an Ati Rudra Maha Yajna in Badrinath. I asked him, so why are we waiting? So that was the seed, the Sankalpa. So it is Swami's will that an Ati Rudra Maha Yajna was to be conducted in Badrinath. And the moment I heard it, I just felt it already happened and we just need to be part of it and we have to be here. Exactly in June of 1961, precisely 54 years ago, Bhagavan came here. He reinvigorated the Netralinga that was established by Adi Shankaracharya.
Ayodhya Mathura Maya Kashi Kanchi Avanti Dwaraka Puri Tulyadhita Shri Puttaparti Shuddha Siddha Mukti Bhukti Prabhava Kshetrantaranga Shushobhita Sopa Vilasa Goduli Sarita Sundaranga Chitta Chora Agnyasarya Kadana Kadana Samadhya Nitya Vibhuti Leela Vibhuti Ubhaya Vibhuti Nata Shri Ranganatha Shri Saginatha Devati Deva Deva Jaya Vijayi Bhava.
Swami, he entered the temple with the governor's family and devotees also. Inside the temple, Swami manifested a Netralinga, and in size it looked like a big cherry fruit. The color was a mix of dark brown and light brown. It was very attractive and magnificent. The Lord manifested with the wave of his hand a small silver globular vessel It had a small hole at the bottom and contained the holy water of Manasa Ganga. The Netralinga and Lord Narayana were given a sacred ceremonial bath, that is Abhisheka. Later, the Lord manifested with the wave of his hand 108 golden tumi flowers, a favorite Indian flower considered auspicious for the worship of Shiva, and 108 silver bilva leaves, that is, a bilva tree considered to be a favorite to Lord Shiva, and worshipped the idol. The Netralinga, Swami brought it to each and everyone and showed it so close, and Swami said, "This is going to back." And at that time, we were only 3 people standing there. Then the men asked Swami, "We wanted to see how it goes back, Swami." But Swami said, "No, it is impossible, you can't see." But they requested and pestered Swami, they must see. Then Swami said, "As soon as it starts from here, it will go just like the sound of a bumblebee. You follow the sound and go." Then we 3 of us started moving with the sound of the bumblebee. It slowly moved and moved and moved. It entered the temple. We also entered the main shrine, the main temple. We went inside, and Swami has already told us, as soon as this Netralingam reaches the sanctum sanctorium, the left side, the wooden plank will automatically come out, and the lingam will go inside that wooden plank, and immediately the plank will go back to its place. As Swami said, as we went there, as soon as the lingam reached the sanctorium, the wooden plank came out automatically. The lingam went inside and the wooden plank went into place. But the men wanted to see whether they can remove the plank and see the lingam going. But impossible. When Swami says something, it is not a joke, it is already a word.
Actually, I should say in September of last year, when we were having how to go about conducting this yajna, Bhagavan came in my dream and he said, 54 years ago, I took the Netralinga that was put by Adi Shankaracharya. In this Ati Rudra Maha Yajna, I will take out the Hiranyagarbhalinga of every single individual that is present in this yajna. I will reinvigorate it and I will put it back in every individual so that they can start living my message through their lives.
पुट्टपर्ति चक्रवर्ति सच्चिदानंद श्री दशरथ राम सीता राम कोदंड राम मारुति राम सुंदर राम आत्मा राम पट्टाभिरामा श्री साई रामा.
When we went to the temple in the procession, I could easily visualize how Bhagavan would have been walking 54 years ago with all the devotees to go to the temple. That brought tears to my eyes, and I said, Swami, after 54 years, we are still walking with you, Swami.
Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Swarupa Swanidya Vatsalya Sausilya Saulabhya.
I don't think any other Vaishnavite temple would allow any other idol or any other deity to be brought into the temple and placed in front of the sanctum sanctorium, and just patiently whatever we had to do, the whole procedure was taken through. I really don't know whether any other temple would have done it. Except for Bhagavan's grace, this would not have happened.
See, usually when we want to perform Abhishekam along with Rudra Parayanam, we need a lingam. So the lingam, it was brought here, and with all the samskaras, the lingam, it was ready for the Abhisheka purpose. And before that, during the rituals, it has to be named. The naming ceremony was conducted, and it is named as Sai Maheshwara. This lingam represents the Ekadasha Rudras, and all the 11 Rudras are put together to be worshipped, and that is how Sai Maheshwara it came into being. This lingam, it suggests move towards nothingness. It is nothing but somethingness towards nothingness. In almost all the Shiva temples, you find Shiva only in the form of linga. It doesn't have any form. Whatever may be the exquisite beauty of the temple, gigantic temples are there. But the moment when you enter the sanctum sanctorium, you find only a stone piece in the form of linga. So that suggests we are crowded by many of these things. It is better to sacrifice these things and ultimately to try to realize the reality.
Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyamamuto Parishade Namaha. Namaste Astu Sanmane Bhagavya Mutate Namaha. Ya Tarishu Shivatama Shivan Badhuvate Dhanuho. Shiva Sharadya Ya Tavataya No Rudramudaya. Ya Te Rudra Shiva Tanura Ghora Papakashini. Taya Nastanu Shantamaya Girishanta Vichakashi. Ya Visham Girishanta Haste Vivarshastave. Shivam Giritnatam Kurumani Gunse Purusham Jagat. Shive Navachasatva Girishacha Vadamasi. Yata Dasarva Vichagata Yakshmagum Sumana Asat. Adhyavochatati Bhakta Pratamo Daikyo Vishaka. Ahikascha Sarvaan Jambhayan Sarvaan Chayatu Dhanyaha. Asavyasthandro Aruna Rudabhadrustu Mangalaha. Ye Chemagum Rutra Abhito Dikshu Shritam Sahasrasho Vaishagum Vedanimahe. Asavyo Asakpadini Agriho Viloditaha. Utainam Gopa Adrishan Nudahaya.
Ati Rudra Maha Yajna, it is the highest form of worship to Lord Shiva. During the days of Sri Ramachandra, when he met Agastya on the bank of the river Godavari, Agastya suggests Ramachandra, in case if you want to get rid of some of your difficulties, the only one who is there to come to your rescue is Lord Shiva. Pray him, and he will be in a position to give you the enough strength to fight against your enemy Ravana. So it is Agastya who suggested this. So according to some texts, probably the Ati Rudra Maha Yajna was performed by Ramachandra in order to extend his respect towards Lord Shiva. See, it starts with Rudram. Now what is that Rudram? See, chanting of Sri Rudram. Sri Rudram, it is the heart of Krishna Yajurveda. So Vedavyasa, in fact, after having worked so much, classified the Vedas into 4 groups: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharvana Veda. And in the Yajurveda, there are 2 classifications. One is white Yajurveda, that is known as Shukla Yajurveda, and black Yajurveda, that is known as Krishna Yajurveda. Actually, this Rudram consisting of Namaka and Shamaka, each of them having 11 Anuvakas. 11 Anuvakas of Namakam, 11 Anuvakas of Chamakam. It is known as Sri Rudram. So this is the heart of Krishna Yajurveda actually. And this has been compared to so many brilliant works. See, in the entire Vedic literature, the scholars have placed these 5 works on similar fashion: Sri Rudram, Purusha Suktam, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Because these 5 texts, they are there to bring out the gist of the whole Vedic literature. So that is the significance. So Rudram, it is not sectarian again. It doesn't speak anything about any particular religion. After all, it is nothing but offering some prayers to Lord Shiva, who represents the entire nature. When Swami suggested to chant Rudram, that was his explanation. He told us that it is nothing but worshipping the natural factors. So here, it is not necessary for us to attach this particular piece of Vedic literature to any religion as such. It is universal. See, we have a number of sages like Katyayana, Bodhayana, Shatatapa, and a host of others. They have given their own type of explanations to this. They suggest 4 important stages. That is Japa Rudra, Parayana Rudra, Abhishek Rudra and Homa Rudra. Japa Rudra means just repeating the Shiva Panchakshari mantra. That is Namasmarana, you can better call. Namah Shivaya, Panchakshara. And this Namah Shivaya, in fact, in the whole Rudra text, only once. That is in the 8th Anuvaka, you find Namah Shivaya cha. So Namah Shivaya is the most important and essential concept to have japam regularly. Parayana Rudra is chanting both Namakam and Chamakam. And again, repeatedly doing it, it becomes Parayana. Then Abhishek Rudra. In addition to the just Parayana, simultaneously the Abhisheka takes place. And then finally, it is also attached to Homa Rudra. So putting all these together, see, the stage is suggested a way of offering our prayers to Lord Shiva. It may be Rudra, only one chanting. Ekadashi Rudra, one person chanting 11 times, or 11% chanting at one time. So the number is 11. Multiplied with 11, it becomes 121, Sathya Rudra. It is again multiplied by 11, it becomes 1331, Maharudra. That is again multiplied by 11, it becomes 14,641. Chanting of Rudras. In addition to that, Chamaka also. So if you chant 14,641 Namakas, 1331 Chamakas, if you perform along with that the Havan, it becomes Ati Rudra Maha Yajna.
When you look at the aspects of Shiva and the Vishnu, Shiva is the all auspiciousness. Vishnu is the all pervasiveness. The Shiva aspect is the core of an individual. The source of everything is Shiva. And that Shiva, how do we understand that Shiva is the core of everything. When you take the entire cosmic universal awareness and you call that cosmic universal awareness by 4 letters, VEDA. Awareness is Veda. When you take that cosmic awareness, it's impossible for any single individual to comprehend cosmic awareness. But Bhagavan Vyasa now systematized this awareness. And if you look at this entire awareness as a ball, the outer layer of that is Rigveda, the next layer is Samveda, the inner core is Yajurveda. In that Yajurveda, the inner core of that Yajurveda is Sri Rudra Prashna. And the core of that Sri Rudra Prashna is the 8th Anuvaka, Namassomaya cha Rudraya cha Namastamraya cha Arunaya cha. The core of that mantra is Namah Shivaya cha Shivataraya cha. The core of that hymn is Shiva. So if you take the entire universal awareness, the center of that awareness is 2 letters, Shiva. Shivaya cha Shivataraya cha. When you say Shiva, it is male, Shiva is female, Shiva is potential energy, Shiva is kinetic energy, but there is only one energy. It is neither created nor destroyed. It can only be transformed from one to another. When it is Sthanu, not doing any work, the potential energy, it is Shiva. When it begins to do work and the latent becomes patent, then it is the kinetic energy, that is the Shakti, Shiva. So the core of us, each individual, is these 2 letters called Shiva.
नमस्ते अस्वायुधाय नामदायिष्णवे भाभ्यापुदरे नमो बाहुभ्यां तवधन्वने परिते धन्वनो हे तस्मान् गुणन्तु विश्वतः अतो येषु दिक्खमारे अस्मन् विदेहितं नमो हरिर्नमावे सेनान्ये दिशाञ्चोदये नमो नमो विषेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पदये नमो नमस्तस्मै निजराय क्रियेमते पतीनां पदये नमो नमो बुद्धशाय विद्याधीनानां पदये नमो नमो.
Historically speaking, there is no documentation of an Ati Rudra Maha Yajna in the Himalayas, because to conduct a yajna for 11 to 12 days with all this, arrangements that needed to be required, it is practically not feasible to do an Ati Rudra Maha Yajna. And perhaps that is the reason why an Ati Rudra Maha Yajna has never happened.
It was Bhagwan's will that I came into this organizing just when the Ati Rudram at Bangalore was going on. At that point, I didn't know the difficulties and all the hassles we would be facing in coming to Badri and all that. But once I got involved into it, then I came to know how difficult it is to reach Badri. Reaching Badri itself was a very difficult task. But here, doing such a big yajna was again a very big challenge.
After having seen Badrinath and the infrastructure that it had, the biggest question in our minds was, how do we conduct a yajna of this scale in such a remote location? How do we accommodate and give comfort to all the Ritviks who would be coming here and the number of Sai devotees who would be coming here? These were the questions on top of our mind.
And when we came, it was more obvious, to us and to me in particular, that this is going to be quite a challenge, because a program of this magnitude, as I don't think has ever been undertaken in here to begin with, and the infrastructure was quite lacking. And when we came, almost we had 8 to 10 foot snow still on the ground. And we are talking about May, and the program is going to start in June 20th. And so obviously, we are praying to Swami to guide us to make sure that everything goes well. And the temple authorities were gracious enough to offer all the support, including offer the land that we conducted the yajna. But the land was, although it was not developed by any stretch of the imagination, as you well know, we are surrounded by 5 mountains, and it's a very, very, rough terrain, if you will. And to make a yajnashala out of this was a great challenge to begin with.
Shortly thereafter, myself and another Sai brother came down to Dehradun with an intention to come to Badrinath and to do a recce and see how this could happen. With Swami's grace, and I should say Swami's immense grace, we were quickly and effortlessly introduced to the authorities of Badrinath, namely the Chief Executive Officer and Magistrate of the Badrinath Kedarnath Temple Committee. This was absolutely divine, for without their help, in hindsight, it would have been extremely difficult for us to conduct this yagnam in this remote place. Swami's hand was evident in that even though the CEO was a top government officer, when he came to know that we were reaching Dehradun, he and his team were actually waiting for us in the hotel lobby where we were meet. We were thinking that we should be going with folded hands to the CEO and asking for his cooperation and help. And it was absolutely the reverse. And here he was offering his help and cooperation in this karya and sankalpa of Swami.
I would like to mention one point at this juncture, that I'm yet to see such a CEO of any committee or any other organization who is so obliging and so nice. He spent nearly 12 hours sitting with us in discussing the whole thing, even without lunch and tea break. So that was again Bhagwan's blessing, how it was, he became an instrument into this.
So very quickly, the CEO got us in touch with a large-scale contractor in the mountains who would be able to do this. And he would be able to cater to the kind of food that was required, construct the Yagnashala of the size that we wanted. It had to be waterproof given the uncertain weather conditions. It had to have sufficient drainage facilities to accommodate the kind of rain that normally happens here. And he should be able to transport the material. Eventually, it was about 35 truckloads of materials that had to be transported from Dehradun and Srinagar to Badrinath. This was the scale of the yagnam that was being contemplated.
One major concern we had is the weather, because we know the monsoon would come and there will be a heavy rain, which happened. And so we were trying to make sure that we safely make sure that the water does not come into the Yajnashala. But there are many challenges, because when you make a plain ground out of a mountain, 75% of them are rocks, and many of the rocks were to be broken by hand. It took hours and hours and hours. And then there is one piece of rock that, to the right of me, obviously, is that something that we couldn't, and we were told not to touch it, because that's called Kuber Kund. And I believe that the temple does every year, once a year, that they come and do some offerings and pujas in here. We had local help, and of course I mentioned the temple authorities. They were always with us every step of the way to make sure that whatever that we needed. I also have another challenge. I don't speak Hindi well at all, and so obviously that I have to communicate and be with one of these people to motivate them to make sure that they do. And Swami's teaching comes in very handy in this, I must say, because if you really truly love somebody, and then if you truly speak from your heart and express what you want in any language, they understand.
We had to come for the second time to see the premises and all that with one of our Sai brothers, Shrikant Bhagavat, and both of us had come to inspect the place and all that. And when we came here, I was a little worried. And nothing was done almost. Only the framework, only the structure was ready. And as we were going back to Bangalore after we saw the whole thing, I was telling myself, Swami, there is absolutely nothing which has been done. How do you think this yajna will take place? After that, when I landed here on the just 2 days before the yajna, I was stunned to see this whole place.
When the whole thing was finished, people commented that it looked exactly like Prashant Nilayam.
नमस्ते
We find that Sevadal, all Sevadals are very actively involved. They are so charged up with Swami's blessings. They are finding it, despite the hostile weather here, raining all the time. Most of the days it has been raining, but yet they are motivated to ensure that all the helps, whatever seva activities are asked for, it is immediately made available. These people are assisting the performance and the actions here in the Yajnashala by providing firewood, other required materials, and making the cleanliness of the yajna, getting the water, taking the abhishekam water back, arranging the flowers, making prasad, the neatness of the dining hall, the maintenance, making the seating arrangements, making Swami's chair, helping to elderly people to sit down, and helping them to move out, arranging their vehicles, all those requirements.
Shiva is always admired as Abhisheka Priya, whereas Lord Vishnu, all the time people glorify him as Alankara Priya. And to please Shiva it is so easy, because as it is explained, Shiva is so soft to the people, one who is there to destroy many of the evil things in us. The primary condition is to have the deep devotion to him. He is so concerned about love. Love towards him is the most important and essential factor. If that required love it is expressed, Shiva, he is not bothered who is the person. He may be a Manava, he may be a Devata, he may be even a Rakshasa. He is there to bless them. After all, he expects only the deep devotion towards him.
we had a lot of discussion regarding people chanting Rudram and people chanting, sitting and doing yajna and all those things. Especially because Badri as a place is a very traditional sort of a place. And we were thinking of, first and foremost, we are doing a Rudra Yajna in a Vaishnava Kshetra. And moreover, we will be involving a lot of ladies and a lot of foreigners also in doing the yajna. We were just thinking whether we will have any objection from the localites, and then we were thinking how people would accept these things, because traditionally the Ati Rudra Maha Yajna is done only by gents. Here it's not only ladies but also foreigners and who are non-Hindus. But after a lot of argument and lot of discussion and all those things, we came to a conclusion that this is a Sai organization and Swami tells there is equality in all religions, and he has always insisted that Vedam should be learnt by everyone all over the world. So we felt that was the main motto behind this whole thing. And we prayed to Swami and we asked Swami to guide the whole thing. And we said, if there is any objection, we will all leave it to Swami to take control. And we said, this is how it should be done and this is how it will be done. And as on now, when we had the discussions with the CEO and all of them and mentioned this is how the Yagnam is going to be performed, they didn't have an objection. And we also asked them whether we will have objections from others, localites. They said there should not be any objection, and as on now there was no objections.
Bhagavan said very clearly, Vedas do not belong to a particular caste, creed. It belongs to humanity, doesn't belong to any community. In fact, if Adi Shankaracharya travelled from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and established the Sanatana Dharma, Bhagavan did not even have to step out of Puttaparthi, but had lit the fire of Sanatana Dharma in the millions of the hearts of the people across the world, 141 countries. Just by one statement saying it is Bhagavan's wish that everybody chants Vedas, I am paraphrasing from his Ati Rudra Maha Yajna 2006 discourse, that one sentence inspired millions of people across the world to learn this divine hymn. And when you actually look at Bhagavan's life and his message, Bhagavan said he didn't come to establish a religion, a faith, a cult in his name or any other name. His only reason why he came as an avatar is to foster the responsibility of love, the duty of love, and it is the love that he wants to spread. When these people who have no connection to any of the language that is associated with this hymn have taken into their hearts and they have learned this and they are beautifully practicing in their lives the expansion consciousness of the Sri Rudram, who are we to decline them the opportunity to be part of a yajna, to begin with, which has no religious context, caste, creed, community context? What really matters is the purity of the mind and the purity of the heart. The purity of the body is the one that has separated people out from Brahmins to non-Brahmins. To be a Brahmin, that right does not come by birth. It comes by a way of living. The one who lives in the awareness of the Brahman is the Brahmin.
Here we have assembled to perform this yajnam, which consists of people from different parts of the world, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, region, gender. All of them, they are involved here. And I think that is a wonderful social justice that we are extending. So this is a very important program where an opportunity it has been extended to all the people irrespective of their status, their country, gender, etc. But Swami, his vision is broad-based. His vision is to involve all sections of the society, all people all over the world. He never discriminated people because of their social status, economic status, or belong to a different country, or even gender to that matter. All these things, he simply overpowered those things, and he set a wonderful platform where we are in a position to assemble without any discrimination and perform our primary duty to offer something to that Almighty after all. If you want to offer your prayer to Badrinath, is there any specific section of the people to do it? No.
So for this yajna, we have people coming from Malaysia, from Japan, from Hong Kong, from India, of course, from Croatia, from Switzerland, from Germany, and from United States of America, and from Canada, and at least 11 countries. There are people that are Ritviks in this yajna. And in this yajna, you see the ladies also participating. And 11 different countries coming together and doing a yajna in the spiritual nucleus of so-called Hinduism called Badrinath. You think it would happen without Bhagavan's Sankalpa? Who invited these people? These people, when we announced about this yajna, they have done 121 days of sadhana, of everyday chanting Rudram, practicing sealing on desires, and following Bhagavan's message of purity of body and mind to be ready to receive his grace.
Based on this, here we have gathered to perform this Ati Rudra Maha Yajna. Nearly 140 Ritviks spread over to 11 Homakundas. Daily not only they chant Rudram, but Rudra Homam also is performed. And particularly this program, it concludes on the 5th of this month, that is on next Sunday, and with Purnahuti. Purnahuti, that is the culminating item of the program, and thereby we wish that it is not for any individual's sake. This is for to establish the everlasting peace in the world. Universal peace is the ultimate goal of this. We want all the people to come together, and the wish of Swami, of course, it is to have a nation of humanity. There should not be any barrier. All the people, they must come together to form one nation, and that should be the nation of humanity.
When we went into the temple yesterday, and when I was talking to the Dharmadhikari yesterday evening, after the Vishnu Sahasranamam, he was so happy to see the foreigners, the children, the ladies, all of them chanting Rudram and Vedam. He said, this is what we should be teaching everyone. So, like that, I think Swami is slowly bringing up the change in everyone's mind. I think let's leave it to Swami how it should be taken forward.
येषां पुरुषाणां येषां पशूनां मा भेर्मा रोमो येषां किञ्चनामनुते याते रुद्रशिवा तनो शिवा विश्वा
Сатья громко закричал и упал без сознания, крепко сжимая большой палец ноги. Посетили храм Шри Вирупакша в Хампе. Они подошли к храму, но храм решил, с вами решил не идти в храм и остался стоять у ворот.
Mahadeva Maheshwara Sai Narayana Mahadeva Maheshwara Sai Narayana Mahadeva.
We have come only to do yajna, but beyond that, there is service. We did Gram Seva, we made, actually that was suggested by youngsters actually to say that we are here and we see all this poverty and, can we do something? And so immediately we started the Gram Seva also. So we are reaching out to people.
Now I'm so happy to see after a few minutes there'll be a Annadanam taking the food packets to the 3-4 villages here, and it is all Sevadal is running around with these organizers and these devotees, basically I must say, to each house.
Before we came, I think 1 or 2 people may know about Swami's presence 50 years ago. And now, wherever they see us, they say Sai Ram to begin with. And so we know that Bhagwan is with us, and he's blessed this place and the people that are in here. And so the programs, the relationship is going to be a long-term one that we see, that it is not going to be coming here and doing our program and leaving. There's a tremendous interest from our side as well as the temple authority side to continue the relationship.
बाहुभ्यां ददे नमः यादैशश्रिमतमाशिकं बुभुभूतेतनो शिवासरव्याय तपदयानोर्द्रमणया यादे रुद्रशिवा तनूनघोरातापकाशिनी यास्तनपाशक्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिजागशीः यामशिं गिरिशं सहस्ते अभयशस्तवे शिवां गिरित्रदां कुर्मादिकं ते पुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा त्वागिरिशाच्छावदामहे तथा नः सर्वमित्रगतयक्ष्मकं समनासवे अभ्योऽर्जुनदेवता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहेतुश्च सर्वाभिभयं सर्वाश्रयातुः
Bhagavan is such pure love, as we all know, from tip to toe, that no event, no yajna, no thought, no project, no action is done through him with any iota of selfishness. Bhagavan does not really require for us to celebrate his 90th birthday. So, when 2 months ago the earthquakes in Nepal happened and millions of people were affected by these earthquakes, and 2 years ago the natural calamity that occurred in Kedarnath and the geologists predicting that there is more calamities that are going to happen in the Himalayan terrain and the whole thing is unstable. Now I can connect back to why Bhagavan wanted this yajna happen at this time in the Himalayas. The core of the individual's consciousness is shaking and shaken. The core of the Sanatana Dharma, called the Himalayas, is shaken. This Ati Rudra Maha Yajna is a prayer to him to appease the 5 elements of the nature and to stabilize this terrain. And that is the main sankalpa that we have taken for this yajna. But when we started the project, it was very simple. It was to commemorate his 90th birthday and 54 years after his visit to Badrinath. But the whole thing, he just turned it around and said, no, you are going there to pray to Shiva and Narayana, to stabilize this whole place and to also heal the minds of the people that have been affected by these floods and by the earthquakes. And you may ask the question, how is an Ati Rudra Maha Yajna relevant to healing the people? What we have to understand is that when these earthquakes happen in Nepal and the floods happen, even today, people are fearful. What is the next thing that is going to happen? You should have seen the Mother Ganga, the havoc she has created after the cloud burst in Kedarnath. Literally, the entire hotels, banks and residential areas were washed away from this place, and people are still afraid of it. Today in Kathmandu and in surrounding areas, people are still afraid to sleep in their houses and are sleeping outside. We give people food, shelter, medicines, all these things. Roti, kapda, makan, clothing. All those are related to what? Our body. So we are taking care of the bodies of the people that are alive. Who takes care of the fear in the minds of those people? Who addresses the healing that they have to go through for losing their dearest ones? Who will cure that? Bhagavan has told me, only Rudram can heal the mind of the people. How does Rudram heal the mind of the people? Because it is the source of everything. And from the source come the forces. When the source is stable, the forces, it is from the source these forces are coming. And in Rudram there is a specific mantra. Adhyavocha dadhivakta pradhamo daivyo bhishak ahigischa sarvan jambhayan sarvaschayatu dhanyaha. The literal meaning of this is Adhi uvacha adhyavocha, means the supreme statement. By whom? Not an ordinary individual. Adhivakta, the most supreme statesman. not only a supreme statesman, Prathamo Daivyo, the primordial God, divine being, Bhishak, the doctor of doctors. This Bhishak is an incredible word because how he is the doctor of doctors is the doctors today only cure the symptom. But this Bhishak is referring to a doctor who actually cures the system, not the symptom. And curing the system is Hagigischa sarvanjambayan sarvaschayatu dhanyaha means the inflictions and the ailments associated with the body, the pain, the suffering associated with the mind, at the physical, at the metaphysical, and even at spiritual level. He has given a statement, Ati Uvacha, that I will take care of all of that stuff for you. And that Ati Uvacha, the statement is, why fear when I am here?
तन्नो भौमः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा अंगारकाय स्वाहा शक्तिदेव्यै स्वाहा बुद्धस्वाग्ने प्रतिजागृतेन विष्टावोर्ते संसुजेता वयच्च पुनक्रण्वग्स्वागत्रयमानवन्वादागुं सेत्वैदन्तमेतग् स्वाहा विष्णुर्विचक्रमे त्रेधामिदधे ओम नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यान्येषामन्नविषवस्तेभ्यो दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते न प्रणयन्तु ते यं दुष्पायश्च नास्ते तिरम्बोजं भेदधामि स्वाहा हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये अग्ना विष्णु सदोषसे मावर्धन्तु वाङ्गिरः युम्नैर्वाजेभिरागतम् वाजस्तमे प्रसवस्तमे प्रजतिस्तमे प्रसिद्धिस्तमे भीतिस्तमे क्रतुस्तमे स्वरस्तमे श्लोकस्तमे श्लिष्टमे ज्योतिष्टमे सुवस्तमे प्राणस्तमे पानस्तमे ज्ञानस्तमे सुस्तमे नित्यञ्चम आधीतञ्चमे वाक्चमे मनस्तमे चक्षुष्टमे श्रोत्रन्तमे दक्षस्तमे बलन्तम आजस्तमे सहस्तम आजस्तमे जराजम आत्मातमे शर्मतमे वर्णतमे ज्ञानितमे स्थानितमे मनोगंसितमे शरीराणि खण्डमाधिपत्यन्तमे पत्नित्तमे भावत्तमे वत्तमे भत्तमे देवातमे परिवातमे प्रतिमातमे ब्रह्मातमे द्राभुजातमे वृद्धन्तमे वृद्धित्तमे सत्यन्तमे प्रधातमे जगत्तमे धनन्तमे वसत्तमे त्रिवित्तमे क्रीडातमे बोधत्तमे जातन्तमे जनिष्यमानन्तमे गोप्तन्तमे सुगतन्तमे वित्तन्तमे वेद्यन्तमे बोधन्तमे भविष्यन्तमे सुगन्तमे सुपसन्तमरक्षन्तमे हव्यवाहमभिमादिशाहम् प्रक्षोभणं कृतनासुविघ्नं ज्योतिष्मन्तं दीप्यतं पुरन्धिम् अग्निकस्य सकतबाहुदेवो श्रेष्ठमन्ये अभितप्रणाहि विश्वादेव मदना अभिज्ञानः पूर्वस्य विद्वान् देवस्य हेणामया सुधीष्ठाः यजिष्ठो मध्यमशोल्लानो विश्वात्मेषाकं सिंहोग्रस्तु स्वाहा सुपुन्नो अग्निवमहुवो देवेष्टास्यावृतो विष्टो वैकुणो वरुणगुम्राणो वेहिमडेकं सोनेधि स्वाहा अग्ने अयासयासं मनसाहिनः अयासनमग्निमो विषयानो देहेवेषयज्ञ स्वाहा सदागृहीतेनाख्येना एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि
Sairam.
अन्यो विश्वादादानि परितापभूतानि नमस्तन्नमस्तमयज्ञस्योपदयो
भगवान
The yajna, to begin with, is sacrifice. And this sacrifice aspect of it is really about losing the individual identity and to be merging with the expansive consciousness. So when you are no body and you are nothing, you are one with everything. When you are some body and something, you are separated from everything. So this yajna, you offer a flower, it becomes ash. You offer a wood, it becomes ash. You offer anything, it becomes ash. To be transforming from the changing to the changeless is the significance of this sacrifice. And when we sacrifice this, what happens is the basis of our existence in love comes, the basis of that is actually sacrifice. So this love and sacrifice is the essence of every single religion and faith. And you take Zoroastrianism, the fire, as Bhagavan's quote, offer all your bitterness in the sacrificial fire and emerge great, grand and holy. Hashem vahu vahishte masti ushta asti ushta ahmai hyat ashai vahishtai ashem. Righteousness, right living, Zarathustra said, offer in the fire of Ahura Mazda. The aspect of sacrificing the individual ego on the cross is the significance of Christianity and the cross. And this cross represents the integrity of the heart with the head and the action in shoulders. Kyrie eleison, love the Christ who sacrificed himself for the sake of humanity. And the sacrificial aspect of becoming nobody and nothing, and to connect with the all expansion consciousness of the God, which is pervading the up and down, the north, south, east and west, represented by the star of the David, is the struggle to expand out of this is Israel. Israel means is the struggle of an individual to leave his single individuality and expand. Shama Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad. When our mind becomes the least and it is the crescent, when there is no mind, never mind, then you would be able to see the star of God shining brilliantly right in the center of your mind. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah. Allah, Allah. And as you see, everything is about sacrifice. You go beyond the mind, the cause of pain and suffering, and you become completely nothing and absolutely beyond the cause and suffering, which is the action, like the wheel of action. Then you are in sacrificing even the cause and pain and suffering. You are one with the enlightened one, the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Therefore, I seek refuge in the enlightened one. I seek the refuge in the collective consciousness of enlightenment. I seek refuge in the right way of living so that I shall sustain my being and the presence, and that being one with everything is the essence of the Hinduism in complete unison. So it's purity to unity to integrity to all expansiousness, as Bhagavan says, from Vyashti, individual, to Samashti, collective consciousness, to Srishti, the creation, and to Parameshti, the creator. That is the essence of this yajna, to expand ourselves beyond all this. And when we expand so, what happens? Now I am able to know something, I know something, I am able to sustain something, and I am able to expand. I know it is Vidmahe. I meditate on it and retain it is Dhimahi. I now care and expand and share it with others is Prachodayat. Sa Ishwaraya Vidmahe. Now I know that this Ishvara, the divine being, is none other than Sai, S-A-I, same as I.
Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudra Maha Namaha. Namaste Astu Dharmane Bahubhya Namaha.
Abhishekam is being done with all the river waters that came across the world by the priests. All these are river waters that they are offering to Bhagavan.
Shivam Bhagavate Dhanaho. Yavata Ravyaya Tavataya
As the yajna proceeds, more and more people are coming to know about the yajna and are coming here. I am seeing the entire mission of Swami unfolding here in Badrinath. At one end is the Ati Rudra Maha Yajna for Loka Kalyanam, and at the other end of the spectrum, Grama Seva happened. And as the Grama Seva developed, Medicare is developing. And even as we see Medicare developing, Educare is also developing. It is so amazing that as we go one step, another piece of the puzzle is unfolding in front of us. And we wonder, what is the canvas in which this Ati Rudra Maha Yajna is actually occurring?
The positive thing came out of it is that we realized that there is such a tremendous need for a medical need, because there are about literally, I think, 10-15 million yatris come for this in the 6-month period, and the discussions were already starting as to how that we can participate and help and provide a basic medical care. The equipment, basic medical equipment, are lacking, totally in here. And also that the other program that started, we see a lot of the children, the workers, migrants who come here, work for the duration. Their children are all just running around and not focusing on anything in particular, and get into habits and begging for alms and stuff like that. And so we are also looking at potentially a school for them to keep them occupied, maybe 4 hours, 5 hours in a day.
So it was in 1961 that Swami made his divine visit to Badrinath. That was the beginning of a story. I don't think that was a visit in isolation. That link has just strengthened now, I think, in 2015 with the Ati Rudra Maha Yajna happening. And this also is not the end, because all the 3 parts of Swami's mission are just unfolding in front of our eyes. And all of us from different parts of the world who have come here are going back with a resolve that they will continue the mission in Badrinath. Jai Sai Ram.
जय कैलाशपते शिव शंकर, जय कैलाशपते शिव शंकर, जय कैलाशपते शिव शंकर, जय कैलाशपते शिव शंकर, सांब सदा शिव शम्भो साम्ब सदा शिव शम्भो ईश्वर साई शिव शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हरि ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हरि ॐ नमः शिवाय हरि ॐ नमः शिवाय हरि ॐ हरि ॐ नमः शिवाय हरि ॐ हरि ॐ नमः शिवाय हरि ॐ हरि ॐ नमः शिवाय Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.